Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Conversations with Marivir. And hope everybody's doing well. And it's our third episode. And tonight we have a very special guest direct from the Philippines, an amazing journalist who did a very amazing work on investigative aspect of how the Iloilo River came back to life. So it's a hopeful story, and it's a story that we all can um, emulate from. So, but before that, I'd like to give some information to the community here in the East Coast. There's a good news. Let me wear my glasses because I couldn't read if I won't use my glasses. On June 1, um, His Eminence Cardinal Tagle is going to be in New York, and he will officially celebrate the Mass for San Lorenzo Ruiz USA 40th anniversary devotion. And the Cardinal will be at the St. Patrick's Cathedral on June 1 at 10 a.m. And if you wanted to join, you can email the organizers and to be part of the celebration. Email at sanlorenzo40th@gmail.com. So as you would know, San Lorenzo Ruiz is the patron saint of the Philippines and the Filipino people. He is a Chinese Filipino recognized for his martyrdom after his execution in Japan by the Tokugawa shogunate during the persecution of Christians in the 17th century. Now, this celebration is headed by Father Erno Diaz and his steering committee. And as you would know, our dear Cardinal Tagle is a high official at the Vatican. He is a Filipino prelate of the Catholic Church and has been in the prefect of Congregation of Evangelization of People since December 2019. And he he was the 32nd Archbishop of Manila from 2011 to 2019 until Pope Francis named Tagle the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples in December 2019. So it's an honor to be having him and seeing him here in New York. So uh, take note of that, and I will flash the um, email where you can write to Father Erno Diaz if you wanted to be part of the celebration at Patrick's Cathedral. Okay, so that's it for now, and we're back to our main guest for this evening, direct from Iloilo, an amazing, a very young journalist, and he won in the recent GMEA, or the Globe Media Excellence Award for investigative journalism. He did a two-piece article, a long article about how Iloilo River regained its life and how the people are enjoying it. So let's welcome, without further ado, I'd like to say hi to Rhick Albay. Hi, Rhick.
Hi,
Thank you
Miss
for joining
Maribir.
us. Thank you for joining us. It's nighttime in Iloilo, right? And
Yes, I
now here
think
it's morning. We're 12 hours apart. But maraming salamat and you're joining us tonight. So give us a little background of your work as a journalist. I know you're 27 years old, and you are you are the news editor for um, Latin Times, which is based in New York, and International Business Times. And at the same time, you contribute to Rappler, ANC, and all the other major media outlets in the Philippines. So, how did you become a journalist, Rick? Let me know. Let us
thank
know.
you. Thank you, Miss Mariver. I actually took up in college
Uh-huh.
packaging engineering, a degree in packaging engineering, and to think of it now, it is a
Well,
industry so far removed from the media. But I think what thrust me into this industry was my passion for campus journalism in college,
oh,
because I
saan
became
ka nag-college?
in Iloilo in Central Philippine University, Miss
Oh,
Maribel.
okay.
Yes.
So that's why you tuloy-tuloy mo na rin yung journalism mo. So you
Opo.
have other jobs than just being a journalist.
No, no, I'm a full-time journalist at the moment.
Okay.
Uh, yes. I started as a columnist and a contributor for the regional daily
Uh-huh.
based here in Iloilo, Panay News,
Okay.
before eventually becoming the business editor of this publication. I stepped down from this desk position before the pandemic. I think it was June or July 2019 to
Mm-hmm.
pursue other opportunities, and I've since started contributing to publications like Rappler and CX, and am now a news editor for the Latin Times under the International Business Times, and an contributor and admin officer of Eco Business, which is based in Singapore.
Wow, that's nice. So writing keeps you up on your toes, right?
Yes,
And
definitely,
it's so
Miss Mary.
perky, although dangerous as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd like to focus on your article. Um, this is a two-part series. The first installment was titled "Two Tributary Creeks Pose Threat to Iloilo City," and this is like a PCIJ, Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, fellowship with you. Let me show this picture. And so there's been a wonderful, inspiring story how Iloilo has cleaned up its river. Look at that. It's so like mirror like. Ang ganda. It's so inspiring. Everybody can do it, you know? So how did you choose this story? Why did you choose this story?
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Barber. Actually, the idea for this article stems from an interview landscape architect Paulo
Mm-hmm.
Alcazaren gave to
Mm-hmm.
ANC, if I'm not mistaken, wherein he was asked to weigh why uh, instances like the Iloilo River exist when the Pasig River and other river systems in the Philippines continue to decline. So during this interview, he weighed the differences between these two bodies of water, and also publicly spoke out against the planned Pasig Expressway, which would shroud the Pasig River under its construction. So
Mm.
that's where the idea for this article. Uh,
When was the interview?
if I'm not mistaken, Miss Margaret, I think it was because I pursued the story for a span of 3 months in early 2011. I think it was in late 2020 at the height of the
Oh,
pandemic.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
Mm,
So
yes.
don't you think that the river right now is clean somehow because there's less activity because of the pandemic? It has contributed to, right?
Yes, definitely, Miss Maribel. The Iloilo River is a also a host, a transport hub, because it is where
Mm.
the Iloilo ports, uh, going to Guimaras and going to Negros, uh, lie. So during the pandemic, these ports did close down and may have, in a way, contributed to the cleaning of the Iloilo River. But of course, this endeavor has been something 10 years in the making. So I believe
Mm.
the pandemic was just incremental into
Oh.
this long term rejuvenation of the river.
I was reading your article, and this part two was very descriptive of how people already enjoyed the river giving life to everyone. Like, there's marine life, and people go out fishing, even if it's for their meal or for just for enjoyment. And then the artists gather to paint it. pagkanindot, no? I don't know if that's Ilonggo, pagkanindot.
It's Bisaya.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Cebuano, right? I'm from
yeah.
Cebu. So it's very exhilarating and truly inspiring. Like you want to spread your article to as much as to so many people as you can so that they will realize it. So ano naman, while you were doing your article, what was your realization or your learning process? Because you see, we are dynamic, right? We learn from our sources, they also learn from us. So ano naman sa part mo ang nangyari mo during the process of data gathering?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Miss Maribel, for that wonderful question. I think the main learning from the process of writing this article was the success of the revitalization of the Iloilo River is can partly be attributed to how the stakeholders, the local government unit, the agencies have managed to find a way to lessen the distance of the people to the river. Because
Mm,
as a handful of these stakeholders said,
mm-hmm,
uh, the Iloilo River fell into disrepair for decades because it was for quite some time labeled an economic blight. There was a foul stench coming from the river.
mm-hmm,
So it in a way distanced the people from caring about the future of this river. But a breakthrough moment for the people involved with the Iloilo River Council was the establishment of the Iloilo River Esplanades, which at first just spanned, I think 2 kilometers of linear park along
mm,
the Iloilo River, which now stretch, I think, around 9 kilometers that follow its namesake river around the city. And this has, in a way, lessen the distance of the people to the river. So
mm-hmm.
it makes it much more compelling, and the stakes are higher for them because now they enjoy the river. Uh, they fish along the river. They enjoy recreational activities along the river. Uh, uh, there's a
Was
green.
there resistance before when they had to be moved away from the riverbank? And how did the local government deal with that?
I definitely I think there was resistance is very beer, but at the moment the council with the help of the urban poor, I think council in the city as well as the National Housing Authority has established a community for those displaced by uh,
Mm,
developments along the river. It's the Lanet community uh, here in the city as well. So it in a way also gave these people who resided in shanty houses or informal settlements along the river to have an actual home.
so
Uh,
they were given a relocation area.
yes,
Oh,
yes, they
that's
were.
great.
Yes, yes. So
Nice.
this relocation area actually now stands as a thriving community. There's a school there now. I think up to grade 3 from kindergarten. There's a church there,
Mm-hmm.
as well as
Mm-hmm.
other expansions. I believe on a relocation area for the indigenous community was also established near this area in Lanet.
Amazing. Yan ang holistic na pagtingin ng government, no? Hindi lang
Mm,
basta sisipain ang tao and they would don't have nowhere to go. They have to have a very an alternative community. That's amazing. That's good leadership.
yes.
Yeah. So ngayon, the second part of your story was there are two contributary rivers that pollute the downstream Iloilo River. So ano na nangyari ngayon sa rivers na yon? It has to be interconnected. You know, when we rehabilitate the environment, it has to be holistic. Hindi yung piecemeal kasi mag-affect yan eh. Lalo pat water. So what's going on with the tributary rivers? So would you know?
Yes, it's cyber. It paints a truly in a way devastating picture of the disparity between these. The main stretch of the Iloilo River is largely clean and
Mm-hmm.
devoid of informal settlements, but in these two tributaries, there is still a lot to be done. The local health office, I think, has is leaning to declare these areas as unattainment areas because of
Mm,
difficulty of trying to maintain or revitalize these areas. These two tributary creeks, sit along very dense populations in the
I
city,
see.
so it is incredibly difficult. But I think through the city's efforts to uh, clear the easements of the banks of these creeks, educate the community there on proper waste disposal and etc. I think hopefully the local government will make headway in uh, in making a change in these two creeks. Actually, one of the impacts this article brought about was immediately after the mayor set up more bantay, and how do I say it? Where they're Philippine Coast Guards to
Mm-hmm.
regularly monitor these creeks, no? As well as calls from the likes of JB Ejercito and Senator Frank Dillon that they will do their best to contribute in maintaining the Iloilo River.
Oh, I see. So
Yes,
the two tributaries are part of Iloilo City. So it's not a
yes,
separate government unit, right? So
yes, yes,
so the the responsibility falls directly on them too.
yes,
It's really good that they are receptive to the article that you wrote and realize how so much has to be done, right? It's not going to
yes,
be like, an overnight thing because it's a consciousness change for
yes,
people and for the leaders. So I would shift to your practice as a journalist. What is your realization on this article that you created, and how did it impact to you personally?
For me, because the news gathering and
Mm,
community work and legwork done to to put together the story was done at the height of the pandemic. It I
yeah.
think for me truly instilled how difficult the work of journalists, especially in the Philippines, is.
Oh.
Yes. Well, as I think for me as a journalist in the province, in the regions, we are rarely afforded the resources that are available to maybe journalists in Manila. So
Mm,
it's incredibly difficult. But I think more and more young journalists, especially outside of Manila, are taking on this responsibility.
nice. Nice. So that's very inspiring, especially for young people like you to also, you know, spend their days in a very sensible way, more impactful for the community. That's nice. So that I suppose it may be hard, but it's also how you survived the
Yes,
uncertainty of the pandemic, right?
yes, definitely, Miss Mariver.
And as a journalist, curious lang ako, what are your specific like needs that's like really felt now in the Philippines? Ano ba 'yon ang problema ng journalism ngayon? Is it need for more trainings? Is it or high payment, high fees? How is it now? It's been a while na wala na ako sa Philippines eh. So ano na ngayon ang mga journalists? Kamusta na kayo generally?
Yes. Me personally, Miss Mariver, no, as a young journalist in the regions, I think there is a need for further education, especially amongst provincial journalists.
Mm.
There, I've seen a prevalence in sensationalized
Oh,
reporting and a lack of ethical reporting
I would
here
quote you on that.
yeah, here in the provinces. So I think there's a need for even those older journers in the industry for
Mhm.
understand that we live in a new era, an era of disinformation, and we
Mm,
shouldn't be contributing to this by sensationalized reporting, by unethical reporting.
mhm.
Uh, yeah. So I do think all journalists require further education on these aspects.
Yes,
Yes.
continuous, right? like
Yes, definitely.
like almost like your professional development program.
Mhm.
So I wish you luck on that. I will be in touch with you in case I would know certain programs that would provide professional development sessions, regarding news reporting or how to track fake news. I'm sure you also have you also been having those trainings already? How to
Yes,
diffuse fake news?
yes, it's very rare. I'm very thankful for organizations like the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism and
Mm-hmm,
Facts First Philippines, which is spearheaded by Rappler, because
mm-hmm.
these in a way do help a lot in educating more people, not only journalists but even citizens or citizen journalists, on how to battle misinformation and disinformation.
That's great. So keep it up. Thank you, PCIJ.
Yes.
I've also been a child of PCIJ, and shout out to the founder, Sheila Coronel, who is here in New York and working as the dean of the journalism department at Columbia University. She's an amazing woman, always been inspiring ever since to so many journalists like you and me. So, Sheila, I would send this to her, and so she will be happy that PCIJ has made an impact as usual. So that's about it for now. And I'd like to thank you, Rick, for your time with us. And it's amazing. This is not going to be the last, okay? We will be in touch with you and uh, keep doing what you're doing. Just do the ethical part of journalism because that's what we owe the public, right? So
Yes.
for now, ladies and gentlemen, this is it's time to sign off, and we will be back for more conversations with me, Marivir Montebon. Okay, so take care, you all, until the next episode, which will be very soon. Bye bye. Good night.